Hey guys, welcome back. Video 2 in our mini-series of building this electric mountain board. Now, if you remember last week, we had a bit of a problem. We couldn't attach the barrels to the board basically because of the way the enclosure was and stuff like that. So we decided, or I decided, to make a spacer. So let's hop straight into the video and let's talk about the spacer and go from there. Enjoy the video, guys. Okay guys, I've just designed this spacer. I think this is gonna solve our problems. Load it into the CAM software, and we've got a couple of operations here. First, we're going to bore out the holes, then we're going to contour the inside, then we're going to contour the outside. So, to the CNC machine, which is over there. And there we go, guys. Here is the spacer. Let's have a look if it's going to fit. Looks like it's going to fit, and that'll space the vest enclosure off of the deck and allow some clearance for those bolts. So here we are again, second try. Let's move the laptop out of the way. Second try with this vest enclosure. Hopefully we got it right. Well, we got the spacing right. So there's our spacer on the back of the e-toxx. And then hopefully we've got enough thread on here for the nuts. Why do you not want to go on? Yes, we've got enough thread for the nuts. Okay guys, that works. The barrels are retained. There's a little bit of a gap in here, but let me go hands-free to show you. Not hands-free, let me go handheld to show you. So you can see our little spacer in there. That's just lifted it off enough to be able to allow the barrel retainers to be inside here, which you can still tighten up if you needed to, I guess. But yeah, that's good. There was no other way to do it because the vests go over the top of this. So if you have anything that sticks out, yeah, I know. I'll speak to Jens about that. But yeah, I managed to get the spacer. It's pretty good. One of the good things about having a CNC machine, guys. Right, so let's go back to as we were. We're running low on time. Let's do a time check. Damn guys, 20 past 4. This is how you lose time building electric skateboards. Before you know it, it's 20 past 4 and you really don't feel like you've got anywhere. Let's put the gubbins back in. Right, so that is the rear is pretty much done. We've got work to do there, obviously. So let's concentrate now on the front. Now, one thing I didn't realise, also in the bit of kit of parts he gave me was a Davga, and this is to go on the board as well. So we better fit this. Damn, this is a problem because we don't have countersunk bolts. Damn, how are we going to do the Davga? How are we going to do the Davga? Got the front truck on. I've had to borrow some of the bolts from the e-toxx one just to sort of see how that Davga is going to fit. I need to order some bolts. But yeah, we're looking good, guys. I've taken the spacer off the printer, and this is what's going to space the box off the deck. On that, we'll use this as a guide to drill the battery box, which is hanging out. Oh, so much stuff everywhere. Over here. use that to drill the deck and the battery box. So I guess the first thing we've got to do is find the middle of this deck. Righty ho. So where's my pencil? We've got to find the middle of this deck somehow. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can trust that this is the middle. We'll have a look and we'll see. So there's our centre. Cool, so we've got our 3 points. I'm so sorry. We're going to be securing this box with M6. There we go. And then we've got to countersink the underside. Right, okay guys, it's 5:30. I'm gonna have to leave it here. I'm missing a few bolts and a couple of other little bits and pieces which I've ordered and should be here over the next couple of days. But it's time to leave this until then. Sometimes that happens when you're building electric skateboards. You haven't got a single piece. Maybe it's a bolt, maybe it's something to do with a truck or whatever, and it can put you back ages, as prepared as you think you are. I thought we were fairly prepared for this, and even still, I've got missing a couple of bits and pieces, but that's life, guys. That's the way it goes. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. We've got the vest enclosure on. We need to do some soldering at the back with wires. We need to run the wire to the battery. The battery's done. We need to put a charge port on the battery. We need to run the Dave gear, figure out how we're going to split the Dave gear and the Meta. So he wants a Meta, a Dave gear, and he's got a UART VX1. So I might adjust that loom actually. In fact, actually I didn't think about that. I can make that. I can change that VX1 to be PPM, and then I've got 2 UART ports. I'll do that. And yeah, I've got to make some spaces for the front trucks as well. And yeah, looking pretty good though. Not long to go with this now, and it's done. But yeah, can't finish it today. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. And well, it'll be the same video for you. It's going to be a different day for me because I'm working over the next couple of days. But there you go. Yeah, see you in a couple of days. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few days. I've been away, been doing a load of stuff. I've just been out riding actually. I've just come back and I'm super sweaty, but I need to crack on with Louis' build. Hopefully I can hand it over to him on Friday, and it is Sunday today. I'm hoping to finish this off tomorrow. Anyway, whilst I was away, I printed this, which is a new spacer for the battery pack. And there's a bit of a notch in here. I don't know if I can show you. Hope that focused. Bit of a notch in there, and that allows the Dave gear wiring to pass underneath the battery. Now I've also, one of the things I have done whilst I was away, sorry guys, is I did fit the Dave gear. Really simple, just goes on the front trucks, didn't need to show you that. And I've ran the wire across the board to see how it's going to go, and it's obviously going to be secured over with grip tape. So just kind of want to see how it went, and then I could measure for the spacer, which I've now made. So yeah, today's plan is to sort out the wiring at the back, the phase wires, the sensor wires, all that, work out how we're going to do the power wiring, and I'm waiting for the longer screws to attach the case to the board, which should be here tomorrow, like I said. So hopefully we can get all the wiring sorted out, everything sorted, and yeah, tomorrow finish it off. So without further ado, let's get that rear enclosure off, get the vesks off, and work out how we're going to do this. Right, okay guys, so I never put the lid on properly anyway, and I did get the bolts back. I ordered some bolts for the front trucks which allowed me to free these bolts back up and put it back on. So in here it's a bit of a mess at the moment. We're not sorted out yet. This is the way you do it when you're building stuff. You figure it out, you look at it, you figure out how long you want your wires to be, whether you've got enough loom. So basically we want the wires to be like that, and they're probably slightly too long for that. So I'm just trying to work out whether I can actually keep the wires a little bit longer for future. It would be nice to sort of keep these wires a little bit longer, just so that in the future if we need to change things, or if Louis wants to alter things, that he's got some options rather than cutting them really short. Actually, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good like that. Okay guys, feels like taking a bit of a step back, but I've taken the vesks out of the enclosure and they sit side by side in the enclosure like this. And I want to keep all of the wiring internally to the to the enclosure here. In fact, that goes like that. I want to keep all the wire internal to this enclosure. So what I was thinking is that if I joined the wiring here and kept that connector inside, they can bring a wire in and connect to that. So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to work out how to do it. So I'm going to snip this, Louis' brand new vesks. Sorry Louis, you can see what I've done here. I've just joined these together, plenty of solder, good solid joints. I'm going to get some self-amalgamating tape. Man, I really like this, being able to walk away from the desk, but you can still hear me. Right, now I'm going to get some self-amalgamating tape and I'm just going to seal these up, because you can't really get heat shrink on here when you're doing this sort of technique. So this self-amalgamating tape is like rubber tape that only sticks to itself, and once it's stuck like that, it's pretty good. Right, there we go. Those are completely insulated from each other, and that will sit in the enclosure nicely. So we're going to get these fixed back in. I'm just going to go back in with a Loctite. Don't do these bolts up too tight, guys, especially this one that I've got in my hand here, which is the one that goes near the phase wires. This one especially needs to just be done really softly. So they're back in. We've got our power assembly here. Now remember, we're going to put all the wires on the inside. That's what we've decided to do, to make sure we've got this the right way round, which is that way. All these wires are going to go on the inside. These wires are going to go on the inside. Boom. So that's all going to go nicely in there. I don't know if you guys can see this. So that's going to sit in the bottom nicely. That means we know we're not going to need this bung. There we go. Put that rubber bung in. We know we don't need that one. So guess what we need to do now is we need to feed some power cable into here and put an end on the end of it. So that can go like that. I'm just going to end this. And I'll be back in a sec. Right, got that ended. Anti-spark, because that's all I had. So that's going to go in there. And we need to take another one of these, and I guess we need to cut a hole in it to allow the wires through. Also, we need to let the Davga UART cable in. Do you know what? Why don't I just remove the binding? Why don't I just remove the binding? That would be sensible. That's not easy. But it's done. Jesus. Oh, wow. Right, these wires are going to go through the binding. This is what I always do, just push them through. On the F5s, it's really easy. These bindings are fantastic. So much going for them compared to the other options on the market. So they'll be ready to terminate for the battery. Make sure we've got all this where we want it. 2 more of these. Right guys, I reckon that's going to be all right. The only thing I haven't put in yet is the CAN cable and the receiver. Now, the receiver is a UART receiver, and we've already got 2 UART devices on this board. We've got the Davga and we've got the Meta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reconfigure this for PPM. I'm going to change that to a 3-pin JST. And yeah, we're going to change this to PPM. So you can do that. This receiver has a servo input, which is this far end. So we need to make sure that that goes to the servo on the PPM, 5 volts and negative. And we can do all that by repinning this. Like that, guys. So there you go. I've just moved these over to the servo, or the green to the servo, put a 3-pin JST on it. I've left the white for the voltage. We'll have to connect that up. I forgot about that. So we can get the voltage on the remote. Not that we need it because we've got it on the Davga and on the Meta, but never mind. That's going to go in there. Find a suitable place to hide that. Oh, if I pull a bit of this through, I wonder if I can get this on here. Cool. Last thing we need is a CAN cable, which I have over here. I know it looks like a bit of a mess of wires at the minute, guys. Well, and really, it is, but there we go. Everything has its place. Cool. Right, everything's in here. Bit of a squeeze with the long phase wires, but that's by choice. If this was my build, I'd probably shorten these because I know I could lengthen them again. But if Louis bangs a motor up, wants to change it, at least if these are full length, he could do this himself or take it to somebody else, and it'd be a very quick swap. But yeah, that's everything in. So I guess we just bring this plate over and try and get it on. Right guys, so this is done. That's the back end basically now together with these are pretty cool, these bushings or whatever you want to call them. And we've got the cable ran to here, ready to be terminated. So that end is done. Right, what I have got, guys, is some shocking pink grip tape, which we're going to put on the board now because the theme of this thing is black and pink, because that's what Louis wants. One thing I wanted to try and do actually is to try and push these bindings out to the outer position, because Louis got a really wide stance. So let's see if that makes sense. I have to stand on this and see how comfortable it is. Okay, well that works. So we'll be going with the outside position. It's just handy to know that when we do the grip tape. Wow, so an action-packed video. I hope you're starting to see now, guys, why this wasn't one complete video. It would be like an hour long. I hope you're really enjoying it. We've got loads more to do in the next video next week. We've just started doing the tidying up, and there's so much more cool stuff to show you. And I hope that you enjoy next week's video. Thank you very much, guys. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then consider subscribing. And if you are already subscribed and you are enjoying the content, then consider becoming a Patreon. My patrons are absolute legends. They help fund the equipment in here to make this whole production a lot better. We're currently saving for a second camera so I can have like 2 angles. So if you enjoy the channel and you want to support me, then please consider doing that. And if not, no worries, guys. There's no pressure. Enjoy the videos, and I'll see you next week.